So Hollins replaces Jason Kidd, who was traded to the Bucks Monday for 2 second-round picks, and it has been a busy 13 months, to say the least, for Kidd. June 12, 2013, named head coach of the Nets just days after retiring as a player, but a rough start to his coaching career. Just 10-21 to begin his Nets career, and you had the whole cup thing there. That was a bit controversial. December 3rd, Kidd reassigned assistant coach Lawrence Frank. Yet more controversy. The Nets then finished the season 34-17. They were the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs, went on to defeat Toronto in the first round in 7 games. What a series that was. But then the Nets lost to the Heat in the second round in 5 games. And on Wednesday, Jason Kidd was introduced as Bucks head coach.
How did you get into the thought process of deciding that leaving Brooklyn was the right decision for you? What led to that, and why did you decide that this was the right fit when you made that decision?
Well, I think the process started when Jeff asked for permission, and permission was granted. And I talked to Wes and Mark, and that's when it started. That's when the ball started rolling. I liked what I heard from Wes and Mark, and from there, it was taken out of my hands. This is business. I think Billy said it best. It's business. And that's what it comes down to.
And that was Jason Kidd referring to Nets general manager Billy King. Ron, was Kidd's departure from Brooklyn handled correctly?
No, and I think it could have been handled totally differently, but that wasn't Jason Kidd's fault. I thought the front office just didn't do a solid job in terms of managing it. You've got the draft going on with the current head coach, a part of the festivities, a part of everything that was going on while talks are being had. It became public. The lid wasn't kept on it. So, whenever you have someone that still has a job, and he's still acting as part of your organization, it did not flow smoothly at all. But it was not Jason Kidd's fault. There was nothing that he could do. As he said, once contact was made to me, contact was granted, I stepped out of it. I had nothing to do with it.
Smitty, how did you think he did as a rookie head coach in the NBA?
Well, I thought Jason Kidd did an excellent job as far as, everything that was thrown at him. He had a team that had high expectations, a team that started off with Brook Lopez hurt, had to change their philosophy and their style. We had the Lawrence Frank. We had some distractions, but, I played with Jason Kidd in the Olympics, and he will not waver. Whatever's going on, he's not a guy that's going to panic, and he did an excellent job changing the style. They went from a pounded inside defensively to we're going to go small or we're going to switch, and I thought the smoothest transition as a head coach was taking the basketball out of Darren Williams' hand and kind of putting it in Sean Livingston's hand. And then also coming out, you have Paul Pierce, KG, Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, and definitively said Joe Johnson's taking the last shot. So I like that he will step up. He's not afraid of being in the fire. Now, going back to how this was handled, this was interesting. So the one thing I will like for the Bucks is they will be talked about right now. Whether you like it or not, we will have our eye on the Milwaukee Bucks because of Jabari Parker, and basically because that spotlight will be on Jason Kidd, and he wants that.
And at Wednesday's presser, Kidd also talked about the challenges with his new team.
Not about the market. It's about being able to teach, and I have a great opportunity here in Milwaukee with the young roster. To be able to, our goal is to become a championship team, and having this opportunity with Milwaukee, I'm very excited about it. So for me, I played in small markets, I played in big markets. Basketball is inside the arena. It doesn't recognize what market you're in. It's about wins and losses, and that's the way I approach it.
The Bucks are coming off a franchise-worst 15-67 season, but they have new owners in Wesley Edens and Mark Lassery, a new face of the franchise in Jabari Parker, and a new coach. And D.A., do you consider Jason Kidd an upgrade over Larry Drew?
Well, that's kind of a hard question to answer, Rick. I mean, he's only coached 1 year. I think Larry Drew's been coaching a long time. I think Larry Drew's a good coach. I don't know that I would call it an upgrade. I'm going to have to also disagree with my friend Ronnie here. Jason Kidd put all of this in motion. He's the one that said he had to have either more money or more power in Brooklyn, and when he didn't get either, he said, well, I don't want to be here anymore. So unfortunately, that's why he's in Milwaukee. I mean, nobody was forcing him out the door in Brooklyn. So But I think he's got a chance to be a good head coach, Rick. I mean, he's got a lot of the leadership qualities that both Ronnie and Smitty talked about. Obviously respected as a former player, an outstanding player. I thought did a good job the second half of the season in Brooklyn after all of the trouble they had the first half of the season. But it's hard to compare one guy to another. I think that he is, again, he has the capability to be a good head coach in time. I think he learned a lot last year. And he might have a better, it'll be interesting to see how he handles a young team. You know, that team in Brooklyn last year kind of policed itself. They were able to kind of handle a lot of things internally. To have a young team where they're going to look to him for leadership, we'll see how he does with that. It's going to be an interesting challenge for him.